am a little rusty on Kethis, I'm not gonna lie. So, Corey, tell us what exactly Brian is trying to do in this matchup specifically.
So Kethis is a pretty crazy deck, and he's trying to do the same thing every single match, and that's assemble either Kethis, Tashar, Luris, those combination of cards, bringing back Mox Amber, milling yourself until you have enough cards in graveyard, and then eventually diligent excavating your opponent to mill them. This used to be a deck where you would just straight mill yourself, and then you would use Jace, activate it, win the game there, but it has transitioned a little bit, saying we don't need Jace because of Luris. Luris in play, and then Luris in graveyard, and then 2 Mox Ambers, it is basically enough to combo up, or with a Tashar as well. But yeah, an absolutely wild deck. But one problem we are going to see is Karn the Great Creator for Cage. BBD just doesn't have an answer for it game 1, and it looks like that's already going to be a very real reality to him.
Okay, so now there's 2 choices here, though, for Christopher Leonard, who can go Karn the Great Creator, go fetch that cage, or we can just go Elder Gargoyle straight away and start laying the smackdown. As a green Planeswalker deck, what do you want to do? You want to get a little bit more control-y, shut out your opponent, or just start beating them up?
I would have already had Karn in play so very fast because it just auto wins the game here. I wouldn't hesitate at all. Everything else is secondary. Step 1, get a cage into play, and then just make sure you don't die the next turn, because Kethis can kill as fast as turn 3.
Yeah, it's insane. Like Mug says, sure, you have an explosive finish on turn 3, but this Kethis combo, if you're not familiar with the deck, you'll just be like, okay, what you doing? It kind of seems like your opponent's just, turning their wheels and whatnot, but they can get going real fast. And here is one key card in this combo being Mox Amber.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, that Mox Amber would have been such a great top deck if Christopher Leonard actually went for Elder Gargaroth here, because you get to go Kethis, Mox Amber, mill a bunch of cards, and maybe get lucky and just win on the spot. BBD would have to get a good chunk of stuff going there and would have had to get a little lucky, but with the cage in play, that's just not possible.
Yeah, so at this point, Braun-Duin is conceding, I believe.
I wouldn't
look at something, because like you mentioned, there's not much way for him to interact with that. So Karn the Great Creator being the great dominator in this instance and just being like, well, you're dead. You can't do anything you want to do. But post-board, that's a little bit different for Brian. He's got a few ways to deal with the cage and Karn, etc.
Yeah, pretty close game from
Pretty close game.
Pretty close game from this mirror match, in the sense that these are both in the other category in the beginning of our tournament. 2 decks that are not really expected to be in high numbers. But yeah, I was anticipating this game 1 is very, very lopsided, because that's all Christopher had to do. BBD knew it. But yeah, like you said, BBD has a lot of tools. He's got 3 Veraskas in the sideboard. He's got Urza's Ruinous Blast. He's got Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. Right there. It's a good chunk of ways to deal with that cage, so it won't be an auto concede to that effect like it was game 1.
Yeah, also got a couple blast zones to deal with it, so certainly ways around it. Maybe we'll see a bit more of a fight here from Brian, because if Kethis can't do its thing, you kind of just have like these mediocre creatures that aren't spectacular by themselves. It's like, okay, cool, you're a 3/4, you can attack, yay. When you're facing off against an Elder Gargaroth, that's not what you want to be doing at all.
No, not really. Not really at all.
So just saving some click power is Brian, because, we've seen this deck. There's plenty clicks per minute.
Yeah, no kidding. And Brian, I'm great friends with Brian. I know he didn't even test a ton. He picked up just the deck that he loves and the deck that he knows the interaction with. And it's really nice to see him doing this well. Or doing this good with this deck.
It is indeed representing the other category. Yes, Brian wrote Cease and Kethis. Is that what Kethis? Cease and Kethis?
I don't know exactly what that is, but I know Brian, and it's some bad pun that I don't understand. That's a pretty normal thing.
I'm trying to understand, but alas.
Yeah, that's the story of our friendship. Just trying to understand his puns.
Well, he's got the puns, you got the dad jokes. It's a match made in heaven, if you ask me.
Thank you.
All right, good friendships there all around. But let's see if Karn the Great Creator in the opening hand here for Christopher Leonard can go and get that Grafdigger's Cage. like so quickly once again and just shut out Braun-Duin. He's gonna have to hopefully have a few answers in hand. He's got Ratchet Bomb, so that's something.
Oh, I see that orange button says keep 5 though. That's not good.
What happened?
That is a very Kethis-like hand. Fibblethip and a green black land. Yeah, you gotta love that awkward mana base there.
Ouch.
Yeah,
that's
all
I can say. It's not great, no. So gonna have to get a little lucky here as BBD. Try and find that blue source off the top of the library to get Fibblethip going. Or just find any other land at this point, and I think he'll be pretty happy with it. Legend Excavator?
It's always kind of brutal when you're like, I need to find the blue source to get my very powerful Fibblethip on the battlefield. That's usually not where you want to be.
You don't diss Fibblethip, okay? He is a hero.
All right, that's true. That's true. A lost hero.
Yep. Totally lost, but still real cute. Attack with a goose to assert dominance. I dare ya. Nope.
I dare ya. Wow, interesting. Doesn't want to run into Ratchet Bomb as a 2-for-1 and play the Llanowar Elf, so decides to just play a food. I love this play, because all you really need to do from the mono-green Planeswalker side is just either get a turn 3 4-mana Planeswalker, or, you know, turn 3 Nissa is great as well, but all you want to be doing is just hustling out these 4-mana Planeswalkers as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And Llanowar Elf would definitely incentivize that Ratchet Bomb to be blown up, which would delay you an entire turn.
Oh, for sure. But at this point now, Ratchet Bomb's gonna go kaboom anyway. I think BBD realizing that Karn or Vivian, they're coming right up. And you know what? There's actually 2 Karns now, as that is the draw for Christopher Leonard. So redeploying that Llanowar Elf, still on track though to get one of these Planeswalkers down.
Yeah, just a nightmare matchup already for Brian. When your Mox Ambers get shut down by Karn the Great Creator, and Karn the Great Creator finds every hate card that you're afraid of, this is just really not the matchup you want. Plus, Brian's draws are not agreeing with him as well, so a little unfortunate there for Mr. BBD.
So Christopher's just taking a little bit of time here, considering what it is he wants to grab. What's the next best thing next to Grafdigger's Cage?
So what I usually would go for to kind of close out the game is get that God Pharaoh's statue in play to just really prevent Brian from doing anything. And that's almost assuredly what we're going to see for our next target with Karn the Great Creator, if there isn't anything too impactful hitting the battlefield, which, as we know, there's not too much going on there. Mox Amber is actually shut off due to Karn's static ability. So the best BBD's got here is like an Uro, put an extra land into play. We're going to see a God Pharaoh statue and probably just a concession. Brian's just too far behind, doesn't play that many lands already in the deck. It's going to be really tough.
Did finally found the breeding pool though, so Uro is able to get down on the battlefield, gain some life, draw a card. Unlucky not to find another land though, so Brian is still very much on the back foot here as Karn the Great Creator goes to find God Pharaoh's statue, like you said. And now the clock is ticking, as well as all the graveyard shenanigans that may be possible here. I've just been shut off.
He can play a Mox Amber for 2 here. Not bad. Not bad.
Man, that feels so bad.
Yeah, I'm honestly shocked BBD didn't pack it in there, because that is just such a tough mountain to climb here.
Man, for sure. But now we're going to see Vivian Arkbow Ranger come on down, add some counters on these Llanowar Elves, and they're going to get to swinging because, you know, why not?
Exactly.
Let's just go for it. Hey, make that statue into a what is it, a 7/7 it becomes?
It would be a 6/6, yep.
6/6?
And I like not doing it just in case there's some kind of weird, you know, sack a creature type thing. It really doesn't matter, but it's tough to lose the game as long as that thing stays in play.
Yeah.
So I like the conservative play there, I think.
Well, here comes the Fibblethip. If anyone can do it, he can. I believe in you. You're probably going to get munched on by a Vivian, but, you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that can be done.
No, we don't want to munch. We'd rather just give them trample, right? Because it's just a 1-powered thing. So 3 for 5, plus the 6 from the God Pharaoh statue.
He can also go fetch up like a Crater Hoof Behemoth with Vivian.
Yeah, let's do that.
He can get a Questing Beast, could get Ulamog to cast next turn. Just a plethora of option when you have Vivian at 5 or higher, plus Karn. You just get to look at your sideboard and be like, which one of these 15 cards would I like?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Exactly.
Back into the library you go. Nope, it's not targeted, so Fibblethip will die. Oh yeah,
And there you go.
There's the 6/6. Give them some counters. Let's go swinging. This is a very different kind of stompy deck that I'm used to, but nonetheless very impressive. Down to 1. God for a statue. Gonna get the game done here.
Wow.
With
That was a
1
beating.
point of damage. That was an absolute thrashing there from Christopher Leonard.